Hello again. My name is Andrea Patton. As I said, I use she, her pronouns. I am a white woman wearing red glasses with a background of City Hall behind me and behind my headset. I work with the City of Boston's Disabilities Commission, and I am so excited to present once again our annual Pathways to Employment Applying for Jobs with City Agencies event. Before I go any further into the slide deck, I would like to introduce our fearless leader here at the Commission, Commissioner Kristen McCosh.
Thanks, Andrea. Welcome, everybody. I'm really glad that you could join us for our annual Pathways to Employment webinar. We are excited to talk to you about different opportunities to get employment with the City of Boston. We have a lot of great guest speakers who talk about their different departments and programs that they oversee and ways that you can apply for jobs with the city. So welcome, and we'll get started right away.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. We'll go to the next slide. Format of the event today. We have panelists who will be speaking to you about jobs with the city. As participants, you will be muted during their presentations. This allows us to make sure only one source of noise is coming through at a time for accessibility purposes. If you have questions, though, please feel free to use the chat button and type in any questions that you may have. We will take them as we can. If there is time in the presenter, they can take them. Otherwise, we'll answer them at the end of each presenter's session. If you're not able to use the chat function, please feel free to use the Zoom raise hand function. Again, if the presenters have a good breaking point, they can answer. Otherwise, we'll take questions at the end. The Disability Commission staff will help moderate the chat and pick some of your questions. We may not have time to get to every single question today, right now, but don't worry, we will save all of your questions and answers and get answers to you over email if we don't get them today. A quick note on accessibility. You may have noticed we do have ASL interpreters here with us today. They will be spotlighted throughout the entire presentation. You may have noticed this is being recorded. This spotlighting will allow us to ensure the recording is also accessible to anyone watching it later on YouTube. We ask folks to please identify yourself when you're speaking, if you're voicing a question. You all, the presenters will be giving visual descriptions of slides as relevant. And again, if you turn on the chat feature at the bottom of your screen, that will allow you to get into the questions and answers. So again, we had an introduction and welcome from Commissioner Kristen McCosh. And we should let you know this meeting is being recorded and the recording will be posted on YouTube. If you do not wish to have your face and voice and background recorded, you can put questions in the chat. Only people who are speaking and spotlighted will be recorded. The program after that is, panelists from City of Boston agencies, and then we'll get right into those next steps. So with that, I'm going to send it back to Commissioner to talk just a little bit more about our commission and the program that we have for you today.
So I also wanted to let everybody know that I am a white woman with blonde hair and glasses. I have a background of Boston City Hall on my screen, and I also use a wheelchair. So I am the City of Boston's Disability Commissioner and ADA Title II Coordinator. The Disabilities Commission aims to increase opportunities for people with disabilities in the City of Boston by ensuring full and equal participation in all aspects of life. We work on eliminating systemic barriers in the built environment, in policies, procedures, programs, and services, as well as in communication and attitudes. So every year we celebrate October as National Disability Employment Awareness Month, or NDEAM. NDEAM recognizes the commitments that people with disabilities have to their jobs and the contributions that they make to the American economy. The theme for this year's NDEAM is celebrating value and talent. Again, this is a national initiative that we participated in for over 10 years, and this is our 5th or 6th year of doing these panels. We're super excited to be able to link people with disabilities with opportunities to get jobs with the City of Boston. Because NDEAM celebrates the contributions of America's workers with disabilities, past and present, and showcases supportive, inclusive employment policies and practices that benefit both employers and employees. And we're really excited to celebrate your value and talent today. So we know, because we've all been through it, that applying for a job with the City of Boston can be a very complex and confusing process. There are multiple websites, job portals, employment applications, and requirements. Our commission recognizes that people with disabilities may need support to navigate this process, and we're here today to help you figure it out. So don't be shy, ask any questions you have. Please take advantage of all the information that you'll get today, and you can always follow up with us afterwards. Our address, our email is disability@boston.gov, and I'll send it back to Andrea.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. So yes, without further ado, let's get into those panelists and hear from them about how to apply for jobs with the City of Boston. You'll hear from a few folks today. First, representing the City of Boston, David Pina from the Office of Human Resources. We'll also be hearing from the Boston Public Health Commission, Nancy Buckley, Boston Public Schools, and Boston Housing Authority, Ekta Sharma. So these other agencies are here because they are the city, they're not the city, they sound like the city, and that's part of what we know can be confusing, and they're here to help talk about their agency and how to move forward with them. So without further ado, I'm going to ask David to talk to us a little bit about the City of Boston.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is David Pina. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm a Black biracial male wearing a white shirt. Background is blurred. I have short hair. I'm not bald. It's short by choice. People have made jokes about that. So I just want, not here, but in general. So I just want to let you know that. But I'm with the Office of Human Resources. I'm a talent acquisition specialist, which essentially means I'm a recruiter. That's a fancy name for a recruiter. So, and I work in central HR here for the City of Boston. So, next slide, please. So, what I wanted to do is just go over the process for applying for jobs here at the City of Boston. So there are a variety of departments across City Hall, many departments. I'm not sure the exact number, but I chose 3 departments that I think are worth sharing because they tend to have the most jobs available on our career site. So the first department will be the Boston Center for Youth and Families. The second will be the Boston Parks and Recreation Department. The third will be the Boston Public Library. And then the types of employment will be, there are 3 different types, I guess, or the 3 different brackets, or for lack of a better term. There are administrative jobs, so office work. There are professional jobs that may require a certain expertise, degree, or license. And then there are jobs that are in the field. Might be working at a community center or in a neighborhood or at a particular park in the City of Boston. And then in terms of the locations of the jobs, all of the jobs will be in Boston. We can say that with all certainty. In Boston or generally one of its neighborhoods, but somewhere in Boston. And they'll state where the job is located on the job description, so you'll be able to see that. Some positions may offer a hybrid schedule, well, I should say, will offer a hybrid schedule, but not necessarily a part-time hybrid schedule. That, I believe that is, I should have taken that out. But and the hybrid schedule will be something that will kick in after, generally will kick in after about 3 months if you are eligible for a hybrid role. And just a heads up, I'm in a wide open area, so you'll hear information, you'll hear folks in the background. If you need me to repeat anything, please just ask me. Okay, next slide, please. The application process. So when you're going to apply for an opportunity with the city of Boston, you would go to the city of Boston portal, and you would submit an application via the Career Center. Um, if you don't, for some reason, have a computer or laptop or something like that, you can come to the Office of Human Resources and you can utilize one of our computers. We have 2 desktop computers that you can utilize. And then in order to apply, you'd have to log in to the Career Center. And what you would do once you've logged into the Career Center, you would then search for open jobs that are there'll be actually there are 3 slides that will correspond with these 3 titles, and I believe it's the next one that will give you some clarity as to what I'm talking about. So, but you'd be searching for open jobs. There's a search bar. You put in the type of work that you're looking for. You press enter, and then it would list all of the jobs in that particular area. And then once you find a job that you like, you'd create a profile. You'd fill in the sections of your background, that being education experience. You'd upload your resume and add a cover letter, I should say, as the first page. And then there's a button that says apply for this job. It's in blue. You would click that and it would allow you to apply. The sections that you'd have to fill out for education and experience, you'd only have to do that once. So it's not something you have to do every time you apply. So next slide, please. So these are the images that I was talking about in the prior slide. So the first one, top is that's the Career Center. That's what the Career Center looks like. The one below that, if you in the yellow it says well, actually there's a blue button that says search. You put in the keyword that you're looking for, or that for the type of opportunity that you might be looking for. So in this instance, where they put outreach, I believe. So you'd press search, and then all of the jobs that are outreach oriented would come up. And then that next slide, the third one to the right, I'm sorry, that third one to the right shows an actual job description, and you can see the apply button in blue up here in the right, and then that's enclosed in yellow. So next slide, please. Requesting reasonable accommodations. So for applications and interviews, we recommend that you connect with the hiring manager that's listed on the job posting to request any disability accommodations. Once you're hired, all requests will go through the Central Office of Human Resources and the leaves and accommodations team. So there is you can reach out to the accommodation at boston.gov to ask for information. And then there's a way to submit a beacon ticket to get a particular, specific question that you might like answered. Let me see what else. Questions that I might be able to answer. I know I went through that pretty quickly. And I'm also going to provide, well, my email address is here, but I'll put it in the chat so that you folks can reach out to me should you have questions that might come up after this webinar.
All right, not seeing any questions. Thank you so much, David. We know you've got so many different jobs here at the city that you're helping to recruit for, that our departments are hoping to fill. Hopefully the slides that you put together show people just a little back end about how to find those jobs and how to get the application. One question I realized that we haven't talked about yet is the residency requirement. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that works for City of Boston jobs on this portal?
Yep, absolutely. So in order to work for the City of Boston, you'd have to be a resident of the City of Boston. So that's Boston proper. You would have to be a resident on or before your first day of employment. So you could live somewhere else. You could live in Everett right now, apply for an opportunity. And as long as you're willing to move to Boston on your first day of employment, then that would work. Then that would work, and you'd be in compliance with the residency requirement. But it's, as I understand it, required for all positions that I work on. I'm not familiar with any at the City of Boston that don't require it. Yes, so Greater Boston, a lot of folks would say, well, I live in Greater Boston. And I say, well, that's nice, but you need to live in Boston proper. Yeah, I hope that answers that. Does that good, Andrea? Can I elaborate more?
I had a follow-up. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course,
Okay.
Commissioner,
Um,
please.
Isn't it the case with some unions that you can move out of Boston after a certain time period?
Yep. So, for instance, good point, Kristen. So, sorry, Commissioner. I am, I'm I'm in what's my union? I'm in CENA is the union that I'm in. After 10 years, I was able to move out of the city of Boston. So after 10 years of employment, I was able to move out. That doesn't apply to everybody. It's something that you could discuss with your HR, the HR person in your department when you're speaking with them. But generally, as I understand it, if you're an individual contributor, you're not managing people. After 10 years, you're able to move out. I believe that's how it is with CENA. That's how it is for me. I don't want to say that that's a blanket, across the city, but that's how it works for me. So, and others that might be in senior who are individual contributors. Does that answer your question, Kristen? I'm sorry, Commissioner. My apologies. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And just a note to our attendees on the webinar, more speakers who are to come will talk about other residency requirements because some Boston agencies don't have residency requirements. So stay tuned and we'll hear more about that later.
Thank you.
We do have two questions in the chat. One is a quick one I could even answer, but I'll send it to you, which is,
Sure.
does Alston count as being part of Boston?
Yes, it does.
And I believe on boston.gov, there's a page that HR puts up that lists like all the zip codes that are part of Boston. Is that right? If you want to triple check.
There's a link that on our career on the City of Boston site that provides all of the different Boston neighborhoods. So I can share that if you'd
That
like
may
in
be
the
what I'm
chat.
thinking of. So thank
Yep.
you.
Yep. You could be right too, though, and I'm just not familiar with the zip code link.
Yeah. And then a second question, someone is looking for jobs in cybersecurity. Do we have any of those generally at the city, even if we don't have ones open right now that you're aware of?
Good question. So any job that would be cyber security related would be in the Department of Innovation and Technology. So they use a lot of acronyms here at the city. The acronym for that department is Do It. So it's DO, capital I, T. So it's Do It. And so if you go onto our career site and you type in Do It, or you type in the Department of Innovation and Technology, and you press search, all of the jobs for Do It will come up. And if there's anything cybersecurity related, you would see it within that department. So I'm not certain that there is now. I know that we've had them in the past. So hopefully that answers that question.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Not seeing any other questions in the chat. So I will say thank you, David. If you find that link to all the neighborhoods, definitely drop it in the chat for our folks.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, if people have questions, again, please continue to put them in the chat. We will make sure that they get answered. If not in this webinar, we will follow up over email. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. And then, sorry to interrupt you. I put my name and my email in the chat so folks can reach out to me after this if they have if I don't respond to you immediately, please follow up. I tend to get a fair amount of emails. but happy to try and communicate and talk about ways that I can potentially help you.
Thank you so much, David. That's so kind. Alrighty, moving on to our next slide and our next speaker, one of our many quasi City Boston agencies or partner agencies, as I like to think of them. Nancy, please tell us about the Boston Public Health Commission.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nancy Buckley. I use she, her pronouns. I am the recruitment consultant for Boston Public Health Commission. I am a white woman with blonde hair, wearing glasses, and sitting in front of a blue wall this afternoon. I'm happy to be here representing the commission today and appreciate the opportunity to share with you a little bit more about our employment process. So Boston Public Health Commission, we are a quasi-agency of the City of Boston. We are governed by a 7-member board, but those board members are appointed by the mayor of the City of Boston. And our mission is to work in partnership with communities to protect and promote the health and well-being of all Boston residents, especially those impacted by racism and systemic inequities. We have more than 40 programs currently rolled out across the City of Boston. So this is sort of a more detailed explanation about the bureaus and services at Boston Public Health Commission. I will share that we also have a City of Boston residency requirement. Similar to David's explanation, you don't need to live in the City of Boston as you move through the interview process, but prior to your first day of employment, you do need to show proof of residency. So a little bit about our bureaus. We have 6 of them: child, adolescent, and family health, community initiatives, recovery services, homeless services, infectious diseases, and also Boston EMS is a part of Boston Public Health Commission. So types of employment varies. We do a lot of different things, so we have a lot of different opportunities for people. But some of the areas to note: case management and counseling, program management, project management, administrative, all of the administrative functions of an organization. We have openings in those areas, which would include budget and finance, human resources, communications, IT. Public health nursing, EMS, so EMTs and paramedics. We do operate 2 emergency homeless shelters in the City of Boston. Recovery services, the Office of Public Health Preparedness, and social work is an area that we often have opportunities in as well. So our main location is 1010 Mass Ave, but we do have various other locations across the city. So to complete an application for employment or to view our current job openings, you'd want to go to our careers page, which is at careers.bphc.org. There you'll find a complete listing of current openings. You're able to click on to the job title and read a detailed description of the position. And actually, we have just started to include the Boston neighborhoods at the bottom of our job description so that people are familiar with what neighborhoods are considered a part of City of Boston. So that information is there. Once you have reviewed a job description, if you're interested in going ahead and applying, there's the opportunity to click on Apply Now, and it will bring you to the application process. There you're able to complete the application form, upload your resume, and also, as David had mentioned, you can upload your cover letter. I think a cover letter is a very important part of the application process, and I encourage you to complete or to compose a cover letter and include it with your application. It's an opportunity to share your interest in the position or share a little bit more about yourself in a different way than the application and resume sometimes allows. And our hiring managers do read the cover letters. Yep, I apologize. I just shared all of that information with you. But again, it's click the blue link that says apply, create your profile, fill in the sections on your education and experience, upload your resume, and upload your cover letter. Yes, if you are requesting reasonable accommodations, they are available by request for applications and interviews. And once you're hired, you're going to contact benefits at bphc.org to request accommodations. My email address is included in the bottom at the bottom of the email. I'm going to put it into the chat as well. And I know I went through that quickly, but I'm happy to answer any questions you may have today.
Thank you so much, Nancy. We do have some questions in the chat, it looks like. One being, what constitutes proof of residency? Is it lease document, something else? And I see David's still on. I don't know if your answer will be different than his, but why don't we start with you?
Sure. So there's multiple documents, and we can provide that information to a new hire as well, sharing what constitute proof of residency. So yes, a lease, a mortgage, a driver's license, a bank statement, a utility statement. So it's a combination of a couple of things, but those are the types of things that we would accept. There's also a way if you're living at home or staying or living with someone in someone else's home, you don't have a lease or a mortgage, there is an opportunity to complete that information as well. David, I don't know if you have anything different that you include.
Yeah, I think you pretty much covered it, Nancy. If you're in the interview process and you're made an offer, you're about to get hired, the HR person for that particular department will share all that information with you. But I think what Nancy described is pretty accurate. There'll be a few forms of information that they'll require, and generally, if you're living in a residency in Boston, it should be pretty easy to come up with them. If for some reason you can't come up with them, we have a form that's called an alternative residency requirement form. I'm not sure if that's the exact name, but that might ask for like a letter from your landlord or something like that, stating that you do live in the place that you're saying that you live in, and so hope that helps.
Great, thanks, David. And just to note, we are asked to show proof of residency on an annual basis as employees as well throughout our employment at the Commission.
Thank you so much. A second question that is in the chat, cover letters can be very difficult. What do people look for in a cover letter?
That's a great question. I try to suggest people find something in the job description that speaks to them, and that the candidate can speak about. So, what sort of is it about that job description that has drawn you to it? Has made you apply? Is there something that you've done in your past experience that you would like to be able to do in this role, or some skill that you've been working on developing, and you might see in this opportunity the chance to grow and develop in those skills in that role? So again, it's trying to find the opportunity to talk about why that position is of interest to you and why you may be a strong candidate for that role.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Any other questions from the chat or anything else that you want to share while we're waiting on any other questions about why you like working with the Public Health Commission?
Sure. I've been with the Boston Public Health Commission now for 3.5 years. And I am inspired by the work that the Commission does every day, and by the people who do the work. And, as a Boston resident, I see the impact that it has on my community and the current communities around me. So I think it's a great place to work.
Thanks, Nancy. And I would just like to add one thing, discussing the cover letters. Cover letters also give people with disabilities an opportunity to self-identify a disability, but I want to let you know that you don't have to do that. It's a completely individual choice. If you feel comfortable identifying a disability, I usually do because I use a wheelchair, and it's related to a lot of my work experience, so it's relevant. But if it's not relevant, I may think about it. But it can be a hard decision, but I just want to let everyone know that you don't have to self-identify in any way. The only time you would want to have to discuss a disability is if you needed a reasonable accommodation because of a disability in order to do your job or in order to apply for a job with the city. So it's definitely, something that requires a lot of thought on an individual's own, situation, circumstances, comfort level. But just so you know, because this is a workshop for people with disabilities seeking employment, that it's not required that you identify that at all. If you'd like to, a cover letter could be a place to do so.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Wonderful. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat, but I do see that you put your email in the chat, Nancy. So kind of you. If folks do have questions, feel free to follow up. Keep putting them in the chat here and we can send them on to Nancy, or feel free to reach out on your own. Thank you so much. All right, we are going to rearrange our agenda just a little bit here and move to our next presenter coming to us from the Boston Housing Authority. Another quasi, as I said, a partner of ours. Let me bring up and spotlight from the Boston Housing Authority. Take it away, Ekta.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ekta Sharma. I'm the HR specialist at Boston Housing Authority. I hope you're all doing well and you're having a great afternoon. I go by she, her, and I'm wearing a blue shirt today, and I have a green background. About BHA. BHA is the biggest landlord in the city of Boston. We provide housing to low and moderate income individuals and families throughout the city of Boston. And we have about 63 properties throughout the city of Boston, and we provide housing to them. The type of employment that we offer at BHA include hourly positions like resident custodian, trade folks, maintenance crew, public safety, and intern. And some of our salary-based positions range from property management to administrative roles such as HR, finance, IT, and housing specialists. And our main location is located at 52 Chauncey Street in downtown Boston. But our developments are located throughout the city of Boston, and they're easily accessible through public transport. The application procedure at BHA is, it's still pretty outdated. You go to our website, you'll see what the current positions are. You read through the positions and you apply for those that interest you. So this is the link that's shown on the slide is where you'll see our current positions. Currently, we have a admissions specialist posted. That position is going to tell you all about the requirements of applying and what is required to apply for that position. Most of our positions just require a high school degree, so that's about our positions. And the procedure in applying for these positions is to submit a resume and a cover letter. And we want you to specify which position you're applying for when you're applying. So in the subject line, we highly recommend that you specify the position that you're applying for along with submitting your resume and your cover letter. And then we highly recommend that you sign up for our newsletter. This will tell you when we have any new positions posted and the way you can apply for those positions. And we do not have a residency requirement.
You took the question right out of my mouth. Yes, so you can live anywhere in Greater Boston or Massachusetts. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
That's not fair.
Definitely get that question a lot, don't we, David? Do you have any hybrid work at BHA?
We do. We do have some positions that are hybrid. It'll be specified on the position that you're applying for. All the requirements, whether it offers a hybrid Whether it's a hybrid role, it'll be specified in the job posting.
Excellent. Any questions that you all have about the Boston Housing Authority, again, please feel free to put them in the chat or use the Zoom raise hand function. Ekta, how long are positions usually posted on your website? Is it a week? Is it 2 weeks? Is it a month?
It's usually posted for 2 weeks. We have about 2 to 3 postings a month.
It sounds like that newsletter is a really excellent tool to make sure you see them and you don't miss them because you forgot your
Yes,
weekly check.
yes, exactly.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, looks like you answered everybody's questions right away, but I will drop again the email in the chat if folks have any follow-up questions for the Boston Housing Authority, jobs@bostonhousing.org. Can reach out to, ask questions about accommodations and things like that. And Ekta, thank you for putting your direct one. So now you know there's someone who knows. And can help answer your questions in the future. Ekta, any final thoughts on what you like about working with the Boston Housing Authority?
I really enjoy working at BHA, Boston Housing Authority. I started off as an intern, so I've had a great journey so far. It's a great place to work in. I love the team that I work with, and there's definitely a lot of growth opportunities if you stick around. So it's a great place to work in, is what I would like to say. You won't be disappointed. You'll get to learn different things, and you'll be able to grow in your career a lot.
Amazing. What a wonderful chance to learn and grow. That's really fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. That is Boston Housing Authority. Thank you, Ekta. I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Makash to talk about a couple of other resources. Commish?
Great, thank you, Andrea. So there are a few other resources that the City of Boston offers for people who are seeking employment, and I'm going to talk to you about two of those. The first one is what's called City Academy. We can go to the next slide. And City Academy is a free program that prepares trainees for jobs as emergency medical technicians or EMTs, and for jobs that require a commercial driver's license or hoisting license within the City of Boston. A commercial driver's license is also referred to as a CDL, and this is a qualification you may need to be a school bus driver or other types of transportation responsibilities in your job may require a CDL. And again, that will be listed in the job description if that's a requirement. These city jobs pay Boston's living wage, which is currently $18.20. They pay above that. They also offer health benefits, union membership, and opportunities for pay increases. And that's another thing we should note about all City of Boston jobs. Anyone who works full-time in a permanent job is usually entitled to health benefits, savings, and a lot of other things, and that will also be listed in the job description. So make sure you check on that. But usually it's a pretty, it's a pretty robust benefit package that City of Boston employees get. It includes vacation time, sick time, personal time, and then health benefits and other types of things. To be eligible for the City Academy free training, you must be a Boston resident who's 18 years or older. You have to have a high school diploma or a GED or HiSET, a valid driver's license with a good driving record. You must meet the income guidelines, and you must be drug-free. There's a link here to apply for this academy. It's boston.gov/jobs. The second opportunity I'd like to tell you about is at the Boston Public Library, the Kirstein Business Library and Innovation Center. This is a project that's located at the Central Library in Copley Square, and it's a community learning department that teams up to offer a robust menu of career preparedness resources and programs. The email to find out more is jobhelp@bpl.org or kblic@bpl.org. And if we go to the next page, I'm going to go through a few upcoming opportunities that you may be interested in. And all of these programs are also free. So coming up on October 1st, well, actually today, and also on October 15th, is a 50+ job seekers network group. And this is something that if you fit into that category, you may want to check out. Mass Hire Career Navigator is at the BPL in Copley on Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tech Talk, landing your first job in the tech industry, is going to be October 7th from 12 noon to 1 p.m. A workshop on job search fundamentals is going to be held on October 7th, 21st, and 28th from 3 to 4:30. And then Mass Hire also has a downtown Boston information session on October 16th from 3 to 4 p.m. Again, all these programs offered by the City of Boston are free to participants. You're welcome to attend any and all of them because we really want to support residents who are looking for work, and particularly residents with disabilities who meet the minimum qualifications. We would love to help you through the application process and give you the opportunity to apply for a job with the City of Boston. And I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has on these two programs, either the City Academy or the Kirstein Business Center at BPL. What does the Job Seekers Network offer? That is a good question. We didn't have anybody available from this organization at BPL to come talk to us, but we can follow up on that. And again, where they are free, if you have the time, it doesn't hurt to just pop in. You don't have to attend the whole thing if it's not something you're interested in. But each of these blue lines is also a link for more information.
Another question about cybersecurity jobs. So any jobs that are actually with the Boston Public Library would be in the very first portal we showed you. I know we showed you a ton of portals today, but boston.gov/career-center. That is where any of the Boston Public Library cybersecurity jobs are. The City Academy is specific to the careers mentioned that Commissioner mentioned in terms of training for EMT, things like that. These are just some additional resources, not additional employer that's hiring. I just put a link in the chat to the Kirstein Business Library. This is the resource that Commissioner was mentioning, and all of the job and career services they do are part of their job and career success. So all of those events, are coming from a newsletter that we've signed up for. We get monthly newsletters from the KB LIC, which is the shortened version of Kirstein Business Library, Innovation Center. So all of that is going to be going on through the Kirstein Business Center, which is located physically in the central branch of the library, but has a number of virtual resources as well. Any other questions about the Boston Public Library resources?
And I did just look up the Job Search Fundamentals series, and it looks like that is in person at the central branch.
Wonderful. So not seeing any other questions, we'll go to our final set of slides. As this is National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and employment is covered by the Americans with Disabilities Act. We wanted to say just a few words about your rights as a disabled person in employment. You have many rights as a worker that we will get into in a later series, but today, just a quick look at your rights as a disabled person. So the Americans with Disabilities Act is a civil rights law that protects persons with disabilities. It has 5 titles or chapters, you might call them, and that does cover employment. So who's protected by the ADA? Well, anyone who has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities. This includes people who have a record of such impairment and individuals who are regarded as having a disability, meaning if people look at you and think you're disabled, they can't discriminate against you because of their perception of your disability. So this is the official legal definition. If it sounds like you, then you get protections under the ADA. And specifically focusing on jobs here when it comes to employment, that prohibition against discrimination, that law that says we can't treat you differently on the basis of your disability applies to all aspects of the employment process, from the application and interview process to the hiring process, the onboarding process, and your role once you're hired for that employer. So once you're hired and there are potentially promotions, raises, performance evaluations, professional development opportunities, terminations, and more. All of those things during all of those pieces of your employment, you can't be treated differently because of your disability. You can't be discriminated against if you are a qualified individual with a disability. Well, so what's a qualified individual, right? That's somebody who actually, meets the skill, experience, education, and other job-related requirements and can perform the essential functions of a job with or without a reasonable accommodation. So if you can do it, if you have the required licensure, if you have the years of experience, you're qualified for the job, you're selected for the job, maybe you need an accommodation of some extra, sitting down breaks, or you need a screen reader, or you need some other accommodation, but you can do the job as long as they provide that to you. You cannot be treated differently because you have a disability. Now, if you are unable to perform the essential functions of the job, the employer doesn't have to hire you because you can't perform the essential functions of the job. But if you can, you're qualified, you're the final person, final candidate, the best person for the job, they can't discriminate against you from that point. More questions, if you have them, on the next slide. There are some great resources that can help you get these questions answered. I would say not necessarily our office. Our office doesn't do a lot of Title II work, but here are two agencies that do: the New England ADA Center and the Job Accommodation Network. So the New England ADA Center is local, based here in Boston. They have a toll-free 1-800 number. They also have a local 617 number, and they have an email address, all of which I will drop in the chat. The Job Accommodation Network is national, but they also have a 1-800 voice number, a TTY number, and an email where you can learn more about accommodations available to working folks and to those who are in search of jobs. With that, our final slide is just a thank you for being here, for asking all your great questions. We can pull the slides down now because we do have time to take any additional questions that folks might have. But anything you've seen here today, again, if we can't answer it live, we'll get back to you. We do have time to take any other questions about the content you heard here today. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. I see a hand. Yes, please. Nicolai, ask your question.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Nicolai McLaughlin from Massability. I don't have a question. I just wanted to thank you. Many thanks to the city for, providing this information in this session about careers with the city. It was a really comprehensive overview and, just helped to understand the process better. So thank you for taking the time to do this.
One good thing about living in a big city is that there are always a lot of jobs. And the good thing is that we have a really diverse palette of jobs available. We always say everything from GHD to PhD. So no matter where you fall on the spectrum, your education level, your experience, there are jobs for everybody. And they turn over frequently. So if you check this afternoon and there's nothing that looks interesting to you, check back again next week because we're always posting jobs. They change very frequently and we're always looking for new talent to work for the city of Boston.
All right. This is Andrea again, not seeing any additional hands. We'll leave the Zoom open for just a few more minutes, give folks a chance to find the chat button or find the raise hand function. But if there aren't any other questions, just want to say once again, thank you for being here. We know how hard it is to navigate this, as commissioners said, as others have said. It's very easy to think, oh, there's one job for everyone I think who works for the city, or there's one job page, I should say. The fact that there's so many different websites and some have residency requirements and some don't, we understand that that can be a complex situation to navigate. We hope you found at least a little bit of information that can help you with your next steps. We hope that this will help you on your search to employment. There's lots of emails in the chat, in the slides that will be sent out to everyone who registered. There's so many places you can go to get that question answered if it wasn't answered today. Thank you for being part of the city and part of our community. We really appreciate you being here. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everybody.